Hey guys, welcome to AIM. I'm Jamu Francisco. I'm your professor for economics. I'm part of the Department of Finance, Accounting, and Economics. And I am currently the head of research and publications of the school, as well as director of the Policy Center for Competitiveness. Well, I love teaching at AIM because I think AIM is such an exciting place to be, and you already know that. That's why you're here, right? I think what is so exciting as a teacher in AIM is because you are not far away in some suburban area. You are not up the hill, so to speak, or the ivory tower. You're right on the ground where business happens. And that is the best place to teach because your students know, they breathe, they live the subjects that you're teaching right outside the school campus. Aside from that location, just the mere fact that, here at AIM, I think, as you will find out, things are much more exciting than they ever had been back when you were in university, in your undergraduate. Rather than the college crushes, what will actually excite you more will be actually the relevant learning that you will get in the classroom. And the relevance that you get there is there precisely because this is a very practitioner-oriented institution, which means many of us are not just your academic nerds who will be teaching you things from books like this, which are your plain textbooks, but rather we would like to teach you what really happens in real life. And that means whether it's through cases, right? The cases that you will start reading from your databases, or live cases where we look at what's going on around you, what's the latest app, what's the latest social issue that you have to concern yourself with. Those are the things which AIM looks into, right? And that is what is so different, I think, from AIM. That's what excites me, the fact that there's so much activity happening here at AIM. Teaching at AM is the diversity of the students that we have. And when I talk about diversity, I don't just mean people coming from different parts of the globe. I also mean people coming from different sectors. Different sectors of industry. You have people in the development sector. You have people in the business sector, obviously. You have people working in banks. You have people working in the business process outsourcing industry. You have people who don't know yet what they want to do with their lives. That's also exciting because you're getting multiple perspectives. And our classrooms are a mosh pit, if you want, or a breeding ground of beautiful ideas. And the reason that you have those beautiful ideas is because you have so many different perspectives. And that really brings the classroom to life. Maybe just one or two of you actually would come here and say that you love economics. Many of you are in business precisely because you think you want to do something that's more relevant and applicable, practicable, and of course earn money while at the same time. You know what? Economics is really just that. Economics is perhaps the most relevant subject. And this is something which I really enjoy seeing in my students. When they first come to class, in an economics class, they're thinking about economics being as boring as this textbook, right? It will begin as boring as that textbook, but as you will eventually learn, what economics teaches you is actually a way of thinking. It's a perspective that you take, which is very different from the perspective you take if you are a business owner or a citizen or an employee. I'd like to call it a macro imagination, that you begin to imagine the bigger picture and what that bigger picture means to you, right? What role your business plays, what you as a citizen plays. And that's a key transformation, I think, in the way students think about things and come up with ideas when they have that macro imagination, how things are interconnected. And so your economic course will not just be about studying GDP. It will not just be studying about consumer preferences, about consumer behavior. But seriously, it won't just be about your textbook facts. After the exam, what you have to remember is that kind of thinking where you link everything you do with what is ASEAN, what are global value chains, right? How does this affect the poorest of the poor in your communities? How do you make sure that development is sustainable in the long run? Because you're here and you're here to study, you have to make sure that when you come to class, you're prepared. So that means, as boring as this textbook is, you have to read the textbook. And the reason you have to read the textbook is because when we come to the classroom, we have to go start thinking beyond the textbook. Because in the classroom, you're not supposed to learn what's already in the textbook. You're supposed to learn from every single person right next to you. And my job is simply to bring out the best insights that these people have to offer. And that's what AM education is really all about, getting the best ideas from the best people in the same classroom. That's one. The second advice that I would give you is to absorb everything AIM has to offer. Yes, maybe this short 16-month program is too short for some of you, and you think there will be days when you'll be swamped with so much homework, so many cases to read, so many whacks, so many articles. But as you will realize, there are even many more things happening outside AIM or within AIM itself, but outside the classroom, from competitions. This is an awesome opportunity to absorb all of that. So do make time outside your textbook reading, because that's something that AIM has to offer.